Hey everybody, Derek here. I'm here to bring you another video for The Walking Dead Season 5. And today is Friday, and one of the things that I've decided to do now on Friday is I will do my predictions video for the upcoming episode of Walking Dead. I figure that way it gives enough time, to let people watch the episode so that way I don't spoil anybody the next day. It gives you time. It's the weekend, so you're all ready to start counting down. So every Friday I will release my predictions video for the next upcoming episode of Walking Dead. And next week is episode 4, which is Slabtown, which from the previews we have been, pretty much informed that it will be about Beth. And it's definitely exciting because we've been wondering where is Beth, who took her, and we're going to be finding some things out. And based on the preview, the New Zealand promo, and just predictions, I'm going to try to piece together what's going to happen here. So just in case you are not caught up or you do not want to know anything, do not watch the video because it may contain spoilers. Just basically, if you don't want to find out anything, or if you don't want to, go in thinking a certain thing, you want to go in clean, don't watch the video because you might be spoiled. Okay. So, based on, a lot of things that we've been reading, a lot of things that have been put out on the television and previews, we can pretty much, infer that Beth has been taken to some kind of hospital. We see in the preview she wakes up with, I think her arm is, or her hand at least, is in a cast. She has a cut right here, and she has IVs. And from the outside, it looks like it's a hospital, or at least some kind of camp that operates as a kind of, community inside of a hospital. So we know that much. In the New Zealand promo, they had a couple things that made me kind of predict what this place is. One of the very first things, and one of the first things that I think we're going to see in the episode, in my opinion, is Beth arriving there. So I think we're going to get the story right from the time that she was taken from Daryl back in Season 4's episode Alone, and we're going to see her get taken to this place, this hospital, and basically get out of the vehicle. And I'm assuming that the first person that she's going to meet is Officer Dawn Lerner, who I think the actress's name is Christine Woods, something like that, who is playing the officer. And, one of the things that we saw in the Season 5 trailer is she said to Beth, every sacrifice needs to be made for the greater good. You're not the greater good. You're part of a system. And then she smacks Beth over the head. Now, that might be, because I was debating whether that was actually going to take place at the beginning or the end of the episode, because I thought about it and I thought, well, maybe that might happen after Beth escapes, because it's kind of weird, for Beth to not realize what's going on, unless, of course, the hit to the head that she receives in the trailer is enough to give her, temporary amnesia, concussion, something where she, short-term memory loss. So I thought that was another possibility as well, is that she might suffer from that, and that's why when she wakes up, she has no idea, where she's at, or only a certain, recollection of what's going on. So that could be a possibility. I think that there are things going on there, and, you have to wonder exactly what are they doing at this hospital, because it's obvious that it's not a great place to be. We just get that vibe, anything that looks creepy like that, you just don't get a good vibe from. And some of the things that I saw in the New Zealand promo, there was one where this was almost like, again, like near the beginning, it said, Beth says, "What are you waiting for? No one's coming." So perhaps what might be going on here is, the police, there might be, because there's numerous police officers that are in this hospital. We've seen about 2 or 3. And, there is a possibility that these individuals may still believe that, there's still a government out there, or there's still something that's going to rescue them. Or I thought that maybe they might be on government orders, perhaps. Because, when the end of the world is coming, or, when you have a zombie apocalypse, the government might send out like a message to a certain um, fort or a post or whatever, maybe to military people, to other politicians, whatever the case may be, and may say, hey, maintain this post. We'll get back to you whenever we can. And they may have never heard back from them since. So they may be operating on government orders that may no longer, be relevant because the government's gone in the Walking Dead world, but these people are determined to follow through with them. So I thought that that might be a possibility, is that, they're running this place because of government orders. And I thought that, one of the things that might be going on here is they may be experimenting on humans in order to figure out a cure, or at least understand the zombie virus, because we don't know exactly how much these people have been exposed to the rest of the world. Now, everybody's had a certain kind of different exposure, and I'm sure that they've had to venture outside of the hospital, but I thought that maybe there's a possibility that they've been so, enclosed inside that space, that there's a lot of things about the virus that they don't understand, and as a result, they're trying to figure out the answers. So I thought maybe, when they talk about, doing things for the greater good, and that Beth's not the greater good, she's part of a system, that perhaps they take people and then they, do experiments on them to see if they, can figure out this cure. And, they may be unsuccessful, in many ways. Or they might keep zombies and, experiment on them. So that's a possibility, because we know that there are doctors there too. That's another thing. I think one of the doctors' names is Dr. Stephen Edwards, but we know that we're being introduced to him as well, because in the preview that they show, Beth looks out over Atlanta, and then she turns around, and Officer Lerner and Dr. Edwards come in and basically, talk to her. So I think that that might be a possibility there too. Now, another thing that I heard is the woman that is on the bed says, it's easy to make a deal with the devil if you're not the one paying the price. Definitely, definitely has a lot of question behind it. Well, that's almost like saying, okay, I made a deal with the devil, but it's going to hurt, the guy next door rather than me. It's not going to affect me directly. So I was wondering, what exactly does that mean? And I was thinking, well, that could mean that other things are going on here. And one thing that we kind of indicate is that perhaps some of the people that are there are, basically seeking sexual favors from the people that are held captive there. And one of the reasons why I think that is, there was a cop in the preview that was licking a lollipop and was looking at Beth in a very seductive, sexual manner. So I'm thinking that maybe, he's expecting that, Beth will give him sexual favors. And one of the things that I was thinking about was when it says it's easy to make a deal with the devil if you're not the one paying the price. Well, what if that means that, you're trying to manipulate people in there to not, make you part of a worse system? We don't necessarily know what this system is, but the system may be that after a while we're going to subject you to zombie experiments. I mean, maybe not. I'm not sure, but we know in the trailer for season 5 that the woman in the bed is getting her arm sewed up. Well, not excuse me, cut off. And well, I can't tell if that's because that she got bit, or if it's because they're going to experiment with it. They're going to feed it to the walkers that they already have there. A lot of different questions. or it might be a punishment. I mean that's maybe not, because one of the things I thought was, well, maybe she's tied up there because she didn't follow what she was told to do. Maybe you're supposed to subject yourself to this, or it's like a kind of system where they're building up a new society like that. And that's another thing I thought about now, that maybe she's getting her arm sewed off because of a punishment, perhaps. I thought about that. And that maybe they're not doing zombie experiments on these people. I mean, they might not. Again, these are just predictions. The other thing I was thinking about was that they're not doing zombie experiments. They're trying to make like a utopian perfect society. That's another thought, that they're going out there, and maybe the people that they are taking are young. Because one of the things that you see is, the woman on the bed looks pretty young. Beth is young, and you have Noah, who's played by Tyler Williams. He looks pretty young as well. So I was thinking that maybe what they're doing instead is they're trying to recreate society in this hospital. They're capturing young people, they're bringing them together. They say, hey, in here, you're not the greater good, you're part of a system. And what your system is you're going to repopulate the earth. So maybe they're expecting that Beth will be brought in, become pregnant, have a baby, have several babies in order to repopulate the earth. That's a possibility. And that maybe the cops, I'm not necessarily saying that they're the fathers, they might be, they might not be, but, maybe they, because of the fact that they protect this place, that might be their job, like you have the people that are patients, are the ones that are going to, repopulate the earth. You have the doctors that are going to be there to tend to them, and you have the police officers acting as kind of a military force that are going to guard the place. So because of the fact that they're going out there risking their butts to protect you, they want sexual favors in return. That could be a possibility. Definitely something that I was thinking about, throughout this. So those are my two predictions of who these people are at the hospital and why they may have taken Beth. But we also know that Beth is going to try to escape. That's been made very clear in, just the way the trailer's going. That elevator shaft that she's looking down, that appears to be an exit. That the elevator shaft obviously isn't working, because there's no electricity, so the elevator can't run. So Noah might be, Beth's roommate. It might be just somebody else that she saw along there, or it might be hey, you two are the ones that are going to, recreate here. So that could be a possibility, but, they both see the negative parts of this. They don't want to be subject to this. They don't want to be, trapped like this. So they decide to escape. And, I think that Beth, I'm pretty sure that, they will try to escape by the end, that they're going to get down. In the trailer, we see that both Beth and Noah are running from the hospital. So we see that. Now, I don't think that they're both going to get away. There is a chance that Noah might get away and Beth gets recaptured, but and then there's a slight chance they might both get away, but I highly doubt that. I think that by the end of the episode, Beth will get recaptured. Reason I say that is because it's really the one way in order to keep Beth more in the centerfold. It's a way to give her her own story, to strengthen her. I feel like if she gets folded back in with the group, it's not going to be as much of a storyline with Beth as it will be with other characters. So I think that in order to really enhance Beth's character, she has to stay at the hospital. Plus, it gives more incentive for the group to want to go back if Beth is still there. Because if it's just Noah, Beth might be like, hey, we need to go rescue him. And everybody just be like, we don't know this kid. We don't know these people. Sorry, SOL. It is possible. So I think that Beth will get recaptured at least. And maybe by the end of the episode, that might be when, the officer Lerner smacks her upside the head. It might not even be at the beginning. It might be at the end. Or it could happen at both, for different reasons. So But I think that it's very clear that, this episode will be focused on Beth. We're going to learn quite a bit. And I am very excited. I've been wanting to know where Beth is, and I really am excited to see what this episode has to reveal because even though it's a standalone episode, we're probably only going to see Beth. We might see Daryl and Carol for one or two scenes potentially, but it'll at least be nice to know that we're going to find out where Beth's at because we have a lot of questions. We want them answered. And I think that this episode will give us the answers that we want. So I'm definitely excited for it. I'm just hoping that this is the only episode. Excuse me. I just hope that this is the only episode that's focused solely on Beth. My hope is that in the next episode, episode 5, they focus on like Abraham's group or go back and forth between Abraham's group and Rick's group, or they go like back and forth between Abraham's group and the hospital. That's another possibility. But we need to have a different focus and not spend so much time on one story that doesn't, we want to make sure the pacing's good. So that's what I'm hoping for. But I'm excited for this episode. I really am. So hey guys, thanks a lot for watching. If you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them. Feel free to put your own predictions in the comments. What do you think? Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? Is there another thing that I missed? Don't be afraid to put them in the comments. Please subscribe. I have more videos coming. And I just want to thank everybody that has subscribed. I really do appreciate it. Tell your friends. I have a lot of Walking Dead and Z Nation material coming out. And if you guys have any video topics that you would like for me to do, don't be afraid to don't be afraid to suggest them. Thanks guys. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.